The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and thanks for joining us. This is TV1 News. I'm Carol Kidu Jr. In this edition, Bank of Papua New Guinea unveils new look currency, young people to abandon tribal fights and embrace education, and PNG athletes off to Manila. Papua New Guinea is preparing to celebrate 50 years of independence in grand style. Today, the Bank of Papua New Guinea unveiled two commemorative currency designs, a new 50 kina note and a 50 toya coin, honoring the nation's journey from colonial rule to sovereignty. At APEC House in Port Moresby, national pride filled the air as the Bank of Papua New Guinea revealed the official designs for the country's 50th anniversary commemorative currency. The event opened with the Matupit Choir Group leading the national anthem and pledge, followed by a solemn minute of silence for three founding fathers, late Sir Michael Somare, late Sir Julius Chan, and late Sir Henry Torobet.
Our leaders recognized that true independence required more than political change. It demanded economic sovereignty. And one of the most powerful expressions of this was the decision to establish our own currency. That vision was championed by the late Sir Julius Chan, then Minister for Finance. He saw clearly that Papua New Guinea needed to take control of its own monetary system. The names Kina and Toya were carefully chosen. They were not imposed or borrowed. They came from us.
The 50 kina banknote features the nation's rich biodiversity, the blue orchid, the majestic Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly, and the proud Reggiana bird of paradise. The 50 toya coin displays the national flag designed in 1971 by a 15-year-old Susan Karike, just ahead of independence.
One of those great initiatives, of course, is polymer banknotes. An Australian invention, PNG quickly saw the benefit of the new substrate and became the second country in the world to have a full polymer banknote family in circulation. So PNG has truly been a pioneer in currency technology. Together, this commemorative note and coin will serve an important national role as symbols of Papua New Guinea's 50th year of independence. Thinking about the future, I'm drawn to the Australian Government's theme for this 50th anniversary, which is Yumi Step One Time. It is certainly no printing Australia's wish, and I know I can speak for the Royal Australian Mint also, in saying that we look forward to a future where we continue to work in lockstep with the Bank of Papua New Guinea to benefit Papua New Guineans everywhere.
Both the coin and notes proudly carry the official 50th anniversary logo, tying them to celebrations across the country. 20 million copies of each will enter circulation from August 28th ahead of the Independence Day. Prime Minister James Marape received the ceremonial designs and made a special announcement.
I want to take this time to give a special respect to Sir Julius Chan, one of our country's great leaders and fathers. We recently laid him to rest in his beloved Horis village. He was the chief architect of the financial system that runs our country to this day. I want to pay my special respect to the family who has joined us today. Please be with us in this journey before September 16. Cabinet has already approved a proposal I put to the board of the bank that as the 100 kina note will have Sir Julius's face.
Since 1975, the kina and toya have stood as powerful symbols of Papua New Guinea's self-reliance and identity. This commemorative release looks back at that proud history and ahead to the next 50 years. a celebration of the past and a commitment to the future. Papua New Guinea's Golden Jubilee shines brighter as Independence Day approaches. The unveiling of Papua New Guinea's 50th anniversary commemorative currency also carried special emotional significance for the families of two key founding leaders. The son of late Sir Julius Chan, Toya Chan, expressed gratitude to the government and the people of Papua New Guinea, honoring his father by placing his face on the upcoming 100 kina banknote. Meanwhile, Kina Bello, son of Sir Yano Bello, also reflected on his father's role in shaping the nation's currency during its early days of independence.
Papua New Guinea for giving us that, that special gift. He is the father of the currency, and we just have to somehow humble ourselves and thank him for what he's done for us. So thank you, everyone.
My father was first cabinet minister for Works and Housing, and Minister Sin Sullivan brought the submission for the change of currency, and he was the determining factor to address the issue surrounding the naming of Kina, and fortunately he chose the upper denomination of the currency.
Prime Minister James Marape has warned that Papua New Guinea will not be immune from the effects of global economic shocks stemming from recent United States tariff hikes, and has urged the country to remain vigilant as his government monitors and manages the situation.
Prime Minister James Marape made these remarks sweeping away claims that tariff increases imposed by the United States on China and other key global economies represent a tectonic shift in global trade and commerce that will inevitably have downstream consequences for small import-dependent nations like Papua New Guinea. The Prime Minister reassured the people of Papua New Guinea that relevant government agencies are closely monitoring the situation and assessing the potential economic risk with regard to inflation and the rising cost of goods and services. However, he warned that PNG must prepare for the possibility of price increases, supply chain disruptions, and investment slowdowns due to strong global economic headwinds globally. But the Prime Minister also assured the country that his government is managing the country's economy prudently and are focused on the national budget priorities. The Prime Minister acknowledged that some impacts may be unavoidable in the short term, but expressed confidence in the medium to long-term outlook, citing over $40 billion worth of resource projects in the pipeline. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Prime Minister James Marape has reflected on the devastating impacts of tribal fight conflict, highlighting the urgent need to replace violence with education. He called on young people in Papua New Guinea, especially in his electorate of Taripori district, to abandon tribal fighting and embrace education as a pathway to lasting peace, prosperity, and nation building.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change your life and your country, says Prime Minister James Marape, emphasizing the need to put down guns and raise a pen to better the lives of young people in Taripori District, Helab Province. As part of this renewed focus, the Prime Minister announced a major investment in education in Taripori, where over 5.15 million kina is being distributed to all educational institutions across the district through the District Services Improvement Program. Under this initiative, primary and elementary schools receive direct infrastructural support grants, high schools and secondary schools each receive 150,000 kina, and private schools 100,000 kina each. The funds, managed through the District Development Authority, is retargeted at upgrading school infrastructures, building new classrooms, teachers' houses, installing solar power systems, maintaining existing facilities, and expanding school capacity. The Prime Minister emphasized that schools also continue to receive tuition fee-free funds from the national government and that combined support from the SIP, TFF, and provincial contributions should ensure that no school in Taripori is left behind in infrastructural development. The Taripori district's vision for the next 2 years leading into 2027 is focused on education. Prime Minister Marape called on the young people of the district and across Papua New Guinea to think beyond today's challenges. Susan Oreape, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. After the break, Kutubu road ceiling and landslide in Goroka claim lives.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up and big smile on face. Time for him chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, na mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Open lens.
Favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Welcome back. Member for Nipa Kutubu, Dr. Billy Joseph, has announced plans for the development of infrastructure in the district, specifically the sealing of the Kutubu section of the Highlands Highway. This project is set to be launched by Prime Minister James Marape during the first week of May this year. Dr. Joseph made this announcement during a recent District Development Authority meeting in Pimaga.
Nipa Kutubu MP and Minister for Defence Dr. Billy Joseph has announced a major infrastructural project for the people of Kutubu during a recent visit to the area. Dr. Billy announced that the Kutubu section of the Islands Highway will be upgraded. He said the sealing of the section of the Kutubu Highway is expected to enhance connectivity in the district.
By first week of May, we should be able to give you one date. First week of May, and next month as well, first week. But if the date and based on schedule of Prime Minister Tasso, Now, funding availability. Works and highways, I think contractor, Emi mobilized Pinis, now Emi Stabantablong, Koroma, all got at least 2 or 3 different camps. So there's some by walk, so 2 different teams by walk on the same road. So by 2027, maybe must finish him gonna walk.
Improved road infrastructure will likely boost economic activities, improve transportation of goods, and enhance access to essential services. He says the development aligns with the broader goals of promoting regional development and improving the quality of life for the people of Nipa Kutubu.
Of all the Connect PNG contract, 40% local content, 40% of money. Money 371 million to seal 100.3 kilometers, 100.3 from Antablo Parate Junction and Penislong Kamara Bridge. 100.3 kilometers. You divide him, 371 million divided by 100.3 is 3.7 million per kilometer.
As the launch date approaches, there is much anticipation in the community regarding the positive impacts this project will have on the people's livelihood. President of Kutubu LLG John Pipikila thanked Dr. Billy for his continued support to the people of Kutubu.
Because plenty time kita nibaran and one Kutubu sasanabiyet. Plenty time nibaran and plenty Kutubu sasanabiyet. So now this time Kutubu Bosabia you must cut him. Kutubu Bosabia you must cut him. Milagim, you've been talked to the parliament minister. First time in history, Mamla member you've been talked to. You've been talked to now to the people of Kutubu. Trust in leadership, loyal this time. Time you talk to the parliament time, people of Kutubu want the people leaders that come here. Or Sabeman Blokutubuya, or little man like Full Yahweh, John Cabinado, Tony, Hushedol Man, or Chairman, Newman Babi, and then Aziz Subuna, or just Nano Manale Rugusana, or little money star, this money, Hamamasla, you time, you consent too long, Kutubu Posabelo Parliament time, people have been Hamamas.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
The people of Kutubu in Southern Highlands Province are taking significant strides toward economic empowerment by venturing into cocoa farming. This initiative marks a transformation from relying solely on the district's rich natural resources to a more sustainable agricultural focus.
The community is harnessing the potential of cocoa cultivation to boost local livelihoods and strengthen the local economy. Cocoa farming presents an opportunity for the people of Kutubu to create a sustainable income source, improve food security, and foster self-sufficiency. The initiative not only aims to enhance economic outcomes, but also to promote community engagement and development, allowing families to benefit from the cultivation and sale of cocoa beans. Colex Igibu, a cocoa farmer, acknowledged a recent training by PNG Cocoa Board and urged others in the area to get into cocoa farming.
In more than 20 farmers and start finished. Cocoa, now about 6,000 plus. Their imports. The current fruit is up. Now this la Kutubu place play nibla. Suitable long growing this la cocoa. Inshallah 1 year, 6 months growing. While nabis we can take in 3 years, 4 years. Never thank you long PNC Cocoa Board lo Rabal, Mr. Driver somebody, and 2019. And he kissing and giving me this la or seeds na mi karam gamna mi testing this la Kutubu ground, but it is growing well.
As the district embraces this agricultural focus, it is likely to attract support in training, resources, and infrastructural development, further enhancing the viability of cocoa farming. This approach reflects a broader trend in many communities seeking to leverage agriculture as a means of resilience and economic stability.
Mipla Kutubu, we are not living alone only for good oil and gas, but this like cocoa and we can grow now and we can swim also, we can carry now to apply magmablo happy stuff. Marpla mi jalao na narpla am regular maulogan na more than 50 and stuff inside. Now, being blogan and also kind this like town and when him napis. So this like any one blessing, he come in sell Mipla Kutubu. So, any also, any money blow local place, we only looking behind him to blow leaders. That's how me is heading this cocoa project in Salon Kutubu. So, me talk thank you once again, Honorable President. Now, Dr. Bele, now leaders blow me blow Kutubu.
The success of this initiative could serve as a model for other resource-rich areas in PNG, demonstrating the potential of agriculture to drive sustainable development. Meanwhile, Kutubu LLG President John Pipikila said more support will be given to local agricultural initiatives. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
The Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, has proposed to venture into downstream processing of wood products within a special economic zone with the PNG Forest Authority. He proposed recently during a special meeting with the PNG Forest Authority Managing Director John Mosoro and senior officers. They discussed strategic solutions to implement the government policy relating to the phase-out of log export and promote downstream processing of all logs in the country under the current Special Economic Zone policy. Mosoro emphasized the need to fast-track specific tasks relating to the amendment of the Forestry Act, total forest inventory of the forest resources, reforestation and plantation programs, and downstream processing of all logs into wood products for export to international markets. PNGFA expressed concern regarding the lack of financial lending to support the government policy on the log export ban and downstream processing. A deadly landslide triggered by days of heavy rain in Eastern Highlands Province has claimed the lives of a mother and her children while asleep in their village home. Eastern Highlands Province is mourning the loss of family members who were buried alive in a landslide early Sunday morning. Weeks of continuous heavy rainfall culminated in severe flooding across Goroka town, blocking drainage systems and inundating settlements and residential areas. The relentless downpour triggered a deadly landslide at around 3 a.m. at Apoga village along Fimito Road in the Gahuku Rural Local Level Government area. A mother in her late 30s and her 4 children aged 15, 12, 7, and 2 were asleep when their home was engulfed by the landslide. The father, who had been attending a church service and remained overnight due to the weather, was not at home during the tragedy. Miraculously, the family's 12-year-old son survived by digging himself out and alerting the community in the dark, rain-soaked early morning. Youths who heard the roaring collapse rushed to the scene but were powerless to rescue the buried family. At daybreak, community members and local leaders recovered the bodies from the debris and transported them to the Goroka Provincial Hospital morgue. The names of the deceased are yet to be released. Still images captured show villagers digging through the landslide in the early hours of Sunday, highlighting the community's desperate response. Authorities are warning of ongoing risks, with Eastern Highlands Province forecast to receive more rain in the coming days. And now for the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2453 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2378 US, $0.3695 Australian dollars, 0.2016 euro, and 33.83 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, cocoa, palm oil, crude oil, and copper closed higher, gold closed lower, and copper closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones ASX and all ordinaries closed higher. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made. These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing. Bum bum.
Tell them shorty come get it. Come grind on me, but me did it. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell them who's gonna bring that roof down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell them who's gonna bring that roof down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi, Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi,
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Turning abroad, the Australian coalition government has promised to build a series of nuclear reactors across Australia as part of their election energy policy. One of the proposed locations is Port Augusta in South Australia, where the policy has divided some locals.
Coal-fired power station in Port Augusta reduced to rubble. 8 years later, this could, under a coalition plan, become a new site of energy generation, but this time nuclear. It's an issue that's dividing the outback town.
I'd like to think that the Port Augusta public will be able to sort of look beyond the superficial jobs aspect and ask themselves, is this what the electricity system really needs? Is this what the long-term health of the planet really needs? 3 generations of Gary Rowbottom's family worked at the town's power station. When it closed, he joined a push to transition the region to renewables. He says nuclear is a step in the wrong direction and too slow and costly to implement. Jobs is probably almost the only pro.
But for some, the prospect of more jobs is worth pursuing. Tony Mitchell has ridden the town's economic highs and lows as a long-time small business owner. He says nuclear would bring a much-needed boost.
Trying to keep some of the kids in the region and some of the people that are doing professional development and those sort of higher studies.
But for June Lennon, nuclear brings back bad memories.
I truly would not want to have nuclear on our doorstep. It wasn't worth it back in 1953, and it's definitely not worth it today.
June was a child when nuclear bombs were tested in the South Australian outback. Her family has felt the effects ever since, including seizures, rashes, and lasting mental health issues.
I've experienced with our family the loss of our family members.
A loss that leaves no room for support of nuclear energy.
The council says there's a sense of announcement fatigue among the community here in Port Augusta.
Since the old coal-fired power station closed, there have been multiple project proposals put forward, but only a few wind and solar projects have come to fruition. If elected, the coalition says it could have the reactor operational by 2035. But in a cost of living crisis, it will take a back seat for many heading to the ballot box.
I think there's way more pressing issues short term than nuclear power station in Port Augusta.
An energy policy that could shape the future of Port Augusta.
Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will once again put Medicare at the centre of his re-election pitch, promising Australians to access free healthcare advice after hours with a GP telehealth hotline. The $200 million investment is to be unveiled at a Labor rally in Western Sydney.
Prime Minister will be returning to his favoured campaign topic today, and that is health, unveiling a $200 million plan to rebrand an existing free health advice hotline and expanding it to include free GP telehealth consults after hours. So from January 1 next year, if Labor's re-elected, the existing Health Direct service will become 1800 Medicare. There will be a registered nurse rostered on 24/7. Australians can call this service, get free health advice, they can be referred to the service they need, or in urgent cases after hours, they can be connected with a GP appointment via phone or web. Now the government says this service will be available nationwide and will ensure 250,000 Australians can avoid going to an emergency department each year.
This is not intended as a substitute for your relationship with your usual GP. This is intended to cover circumstances where people need to be seen immediately. Need some quick advice, particularly, for example, when your kid gets sick. So, it's not intended to replace the relationship people have, a really important relationship people have with their usual GP. So
this builds on a series of health-related announcements made during this campaign by Labor. We've seen promises to expand urgent care clinics, to invest billions to boost bulk billing rates and to make the price of essential medicines cheaper. Now, this latest pledge will be unveiled at a rally in Western Sydney. After that, the Prime Minister will take a brief pause to prepare for the fourth and final leaders' debate of the campaign. Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton to go head-to-head one last time tonight, with just a few days to go until polling day.
Hospitality venues in Melbourne's central business district say they are fed up with constant protests impacting their businesses. It follows ugly clashes yesterday when a women's rights rally was met with counter-protesters, forcing businesses to close their doors for safety.
Ugly scenes in Melbourne's CBD. Police told city businesses to lock their doors yesterday after a protest turned violent.
They told me don't open the door for anyone, from front side also for the back side.
Mandeep Singh had hopes the long weekend would bring bumper trading, but instead, business was brought to a standstill.
We close for near about 3 to 4 hours, and it's happening every week, sometime every 2 weeks. It's very affected our business.
Streets were shut down when a counter-protest to a women's rights rally clashed with police.
These are small businesses, usually owner-operated family businesses that have had a really tough time through the pandemic. Being near Parliament, they have been hit hard time and time again.
Some protesters threw projectiles at police, injuring 4 officers. Others waving signs and chanting behind barricades. Organisers of the Women Will Speak event say their rally was peaceful and the violence was unacceptable.
It's obviously really scary. It's obviously really frightening that women need hundreds of police horses and the riot police in waiting. It's just shocking what happened. I mean, what polite words can I use? They were feral.
Former MP Andy Medic was left with minor bruising following an altercation.
I want that man arrested for assault.
As a father of trans children, I felt it was important to stand up for their rights, but not just for them, but for the broader trans community.
Victoria Police says an investigation is ongoing, but the violent clash has renewed calls from the union to consider introducing a permit system like in New South Wales. The government has no plans for a permit system and has described yesterday's scenes as disgusting.
A new community centre dedicated to celebrating African history and culture has opened in Melbourne's west. The Baai Al-Kebulan African Library, Arts and Cultural Centre opened its doors early this month. The founder hopes the centre will be a hub for Melbourne's young African Australians.
Magang Reach says he's found his purpose. The 30-year-old established an African library, art and history museum after struggling to find books that reflected his heritage.
When you see your own people on the book covers, it changes your approach to it.
We've got history books as well as things on health.
Growing up in Melbourne's inner city suburbs, Magang says the history he learned at school lacked representation.
You just gobble up whatever is in front of you until later on you will know better.
He initially started collecting books for his own interest, but soon he was loaning them out to his friends and members of his community, and the library was born.
Just to have a place that you can breathe and, see your own people.
But the road to the library wasn't an easy one. Magang's idea came from a desire to help his community after a spate of tragedies.
So a lot of my friends that I know that I grew up with and really remember the early days, some of them have actually passed, a lot committed suicide, a lot that have, locked up in prisons. For me, it was like, we have to do something now.
Spaces like this help create safety, for our people, our young people, but also build cultural sensitivity and responsivity by inviting our broader communities to come and say, hey, you know what? This is who we are. This is where we're from. These are our similarities and these are our differences. There's beauty in both.
When the library first opened, Magang was mostly funding the project on his own. But his vision for its future is to create a space that can grow with the help of the community.
Hopefully we have something that will continue for the rest of my life and beyond.
Western Australia's Pilbara region is known as the engine room of the country. And in the town of Newman, one woman has spent more than a decade carefully documenting its historic significance.
I can remember the trip to Newman. I remember the surroundings changing and the bush looked, beautiful. I think it was an exciting time for those young people.
What began as a whale-shaped mountain on the edge of the Great Sandy Desert is now the jewel of mining giant BHP's iron ore empire, worth more than $24 billion a year. But when Lisa Rickett returned to Newman after a stint away in 2013, she was worried the human stories behind this immense mineral wealth would be lost.
I was helping a lady called Margaret, and she was going to organise a Newman reunion, and we realised that a lot of the records had just disappeared. So, I thought that was such a shame.
Miss Rickett got to work, recording more than 100 interviews with current and former residents and collating their stories, including Charlie Snell, who came to Newman in 1966.
He was known as the Snake Man. In those days, there was 2 men to a tent at Tent City, but no one would share with Charlie because he usually had a reptile on his person. And he, along with the help of the local First Nations people, collected seedlings and started Newman's first nursery.
These stories have now moved from online to the physical world. Miss Rickett recently bought one of the first homes built here, decorating the walls with photos of iconic Newman characters.
Being so isolated back then and so far away from family, which we are today, the people, the friends that you make in town, they sort of become your family.
Preserving the value of an outback community.
You're watching TVWAN News. Next in sports, athletes off to Manila and Wigman maintain winning streak.
Tell them shorty come get it, come grind on me, but me mommy get loose, Pepsi in my
Help stop the spread of germs and protect your loved ones with Protex. Here are some simple hand washing tips. Use soap or liquid hand wash. Vigorously scrub hands in circular motion. Scrub in between fingers and nails. Do not forget the back of the palm and around the wrist. Rinse with clean running water. Dry hands with a clean paper towel or cloth. Protex. Clean hands, good health.
For Simon, life is simple. Dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever. Yes! From small dreams to big possibilities. One Top Jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello better banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
Welcome back. A last-minute penalty meant that the Cook Islands and Papua New Guinea had to settle for a point apiece on match day 1 at the OFC Under-16 Women's Championship 2025, qualifying in Rarotonga on Sunday. With just 3 nations comprising the qualifying phase, a winning start for either side would put them in pole position to advance, with American Samoa lying in wait on match day 2. It was Papua New Guinea who got the perfect start, opening the scoring after just 9 minutes, with Angelica Raminai taking advantage of space afforded to her in the penalty area and finishing from close range. Cook Islands captain Metu Amaru Arere followed that up with an effort of her own. Arere was the focal point for much of Cook Islands' attack, though cut a frustrated figure as her side struggled to find that equalizing goal. As part of their preparations for the upcoming Pacific Mini Games, 13 athletes from Papua New Guinea have traveled to Manila today to compete in the Philippine Open Championships, accompanied by coach Subul Babo and Athletics PNG President Tony Green. Unlike the overseas-based athletes who have already participated in several competitions this season, the PNG-based athletes have had limited access to regular competition. This meet is therefore crucial for them to assess their progress and readiness for the Games. (2024) Digital ExxonMobil Cup Grand Final runner-up Hella Wigman have continued their early season winning streak with another hard-fought victory over a young, fast-finishing Wagi Tumbe side, 34 points to 16. The main drawcard of doubleheader was played at the Santos National Football Stadium.
Team cohesion, consistency and sticking to the process is a recipe for success. For the Hela franchise, Wigman, having maintained bulk of their experience in key positions, mixing it with new talent with fresh energy, has continued to work wonders for the team after 3 rounds of the new season. And elated Wigman coach Ian Yarrow said coming this far with 3 wins on the trot can be attributed to good team combinations and strong leadership and control in their spine.
Yep, in terms of combinations, I think 3 games we've done this far, 3 from 3. But I think our second half was a bit nasty. We need to really work on our discipline and our sets at the back end of the game. So that's something that we just really need to talk to the boys on. Yeah, obviously we have the pool of talent in the team. We rest a lot of boys due personal reasons, some through suspension, others through injuries. But we have the pool that we can still get people to come and fit in that positions, and that's what happened for us this afternoon.
Wigman enforcer Manu Kame was the digital man of the match.
We've been the boys have been working through all throughout the week. We look forward to take on Goroka Wakitumbe. We didn't look down on them. We prepare well. We know that they are going to prepare well to come and take on Wigman. So yeah, a pretty tough game within the Wakitumbe.
On Sunday, Wigman again played to their standard, showing great composure and control against a young Tumbe outfit who showed a lot of enthusiasm and passion, taking the game right up to the Wigman, but lacked big game experience under rookie coach Kupul Whistle.
First time it's not there, and thinking of come up strong, then just lose him like the opportunity was there, and then just play water, so the lose carry line.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
After conceding back-to-back losses to Wigman and Vipers in their last 2 opening rounds, Central Dabaris are back in the winner's circle after putting on a dominant performance on Sunday. Dabaris picked up their first win against East New Britain Couriers outfit, 30 points to 14 in round 3 of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup played at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby.
Couriers, although went into the contest favourites, but unable to get past a committed and fast Dabaris side who piled on the points from the get-go and had the Couriers chasing them all day. A much-relieved Dabaris coach Solomon Kuloniasi did not have much to say but praised for his boys for their hard work and commitment to get the win. He said unlike their past 2 matches, Dabaris took full control of the game from the start and executed better till finish.
Quite relieving. I'm so happy for the boys. They worked really hard for the win, and so close round 1, so close round 2, and I'm just so happy that and thrilled that they got the win today. I guess today I think we started off better than we did in our last 2 weeks, and we're a bit more focused defensively too, so I'm pretty happy. 16-6 at halftime showed our defensive mindset, so I'm happy. Thank you.
Kuloniasi also pointed out some effort areas that contributed to the win. The Dabaris speed demon and 2-try hero Douglas Pirika was the Digicel man of the match.
Milatok, bigla thank you Lord boys. I step up today. Without them, we don't have scored a try. All work really hard. Now games, me come up on the 2 blood tries for me.
Meanwhile, losing Couriers coach Orto Puara Jr. admitted his team's downfall and considered they lost to a better side on the day.
I think in the first half we just made a lot of errors in our game. We didn't start the game we wanted, but we're trying to play well at the end there, but time caught up with us. We should have started the game the way we finished the game this afternoon.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
As part of their preparations for the upcoming Pacific Mini Games, 13 athletes from Papua New Guinea have travelled to Manila today to compete in the Philippine Open Championships, accompanied by coach Subul Babo and athletics PNG president Tony Green. Unlike the overseas-based athletes who have already participated in several competitions this season, The PNG-based athletes have had limited access to regular competition. This meet is therefore crucial for them to assess their progress and readiness for the Games.
The Philippines Open Championships will run from Thursday 1st May to Sunday 4th May 2025. Traveling athletes include Daniel Baul, Benjamin Aliel, Robert Oa, Caro Iga, William Pekka, Cialis Pasangan, Abel Siune Dilu Goye, Siune Kagel, Monica Kalua, Ray Kumalaheru, Danlin Kinbangi, and Patricia Kuku. In an interview with Athletics PNG President Tony Green, he emphasized the importance of this competition, stating it provides valuable quality lead-up competition for the athletes, especially the long-distance runners, with only 2 months remaining before the Palau Games in June.
Yeah, as you know, we do have a number of athletes that are based overseas. You've been hearing the reports on those athletes, but the ones based at home, they really don't get many competition opportunities, so it's very important that they do have something like this to see how they're going in their preparations for the Games. It's probably just a little bit early for us, but with 2 months out from the Games, something a little bit later in May would have been good. But this was the best opportunity that we had. So we made a commitment to bring the athletes to Manila for the Philippine Open Championships, which are taking place in Manila from Thursday to Sunday this week.
He also highlighted the uncertain number of Asian countries participating, but stressed the significance of competing against top athletes from nations such as Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. These countries are also using this event as preparation for the Asian Games in May, similar to our Pacific Games.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of other Southeast Asian countries, especially Thailand and Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and they've got their Asian Games coming up at the end of May, which is like our Pacific Games. So the Asian Games is a big meet for them, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of athletes there looking for some good competition in the lead-up. So we're hoping to see a strong competition.
The 13 traveling athletes have been training diligently domestically. This trip will enhance their preparation and offer them strong competition ahead of the mini-games, Green said. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The Penrith Panthers will finish round 8 at the bottom of the NRL ladder, going down to Manly 26 points to 10 on Saturday night. Coach Ivan Cleary remains hopeful that the team can turn tables in the coming weeks.
Attempting to win consecutive matches for the first time in 2025, the Panthers were held scoreless in the first half at Western Sydney Stadium and were never able to bridge the deficit. The Panthers, who snapped a 5-match losing streak last weekend against the Sydney Roosters, found themselves back in the losers' circle this weekend after falling short against the Manly Sea Eagles by 16 points. Trailing 14-0 at half-time, the Panthers threatened to make a second-half comeback with 2 tries in the opening 10 minutes. But errors crept into Penrith's game as the Sea Eagles were able to kick away and snap a 3-match losing streak. Penrith Panthers head coach Ivan Cleary has backed his side to turn things around and said the Panthers don't deserve to be in the last spot. Cleary says the latter doesn't matter until July or August. Despite the loss, Cleary believes his team can turn things around in the coming weeks. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
Adam Dewey slotted a penalty goal in the second period of Golden Point to boot the Tigers to a 20 points to 18 victory over Cronulla at Lockhart Oval on Sunday. Both teams had their shots at game-winning field goals in regulation and extra time, but it was a 2-on-1 strip that gifted Dewey the game winner. He potted the 25-meter shot into the gale, sparkling jubilant scenes at the Tigers' spiritual home. Tigers coach Benji Marshall described that game as crazy and an emotional roller coaster. It marked the first NRL game for 5'8" Lachlan Galvin after the 19-year-old was dropped to reserve grade last week over a contract dispute. Galvin set up the first try and made a try-saver in the dying moments of regulation in a complete performance. Here are the highlights.
There's nowhere else you'd rather be on a Sunday. Leichhardt Oval, just about chockers, and Galvin has to dive to take the first catch of the afternoon, and there's already an illustration of the breeze. Played quickly by Twal. Galvin steaming onto it, ball in the corner, Sam Fainu has gone over, and Galvin's late on the first one. Hines, Tyndall, Kennedy, Ramian, Naden trying to cling on. Kennedy got back behind the ball to stay alive. Promotes the pass, one-handed offload. Nico Hines, he dumps it away now to Ronaldo. He goes charging through them. Ronaldo Mulatalo. Play to Brayley. Nico Hines staying short. They're over. It's a try to Billy Burns. A great resurgence by the Sharks. Hines, no issues, 18 each. Coruscant back to Luai. He's going to go out to Dewey. Dewey tries to kick a field goal from almost 30 out. It's out to the right-hand side of the post. Last tackle for Cronulla. Trindle on the 30-metre line. Trindle steps up, whacks it towards the sticks. The ball closer out to the right-hand side. And now Brett Naden sprinting back. Here's Hines with another chance to win it. He switches, he goes back to Trindle, he's outside the 30. He doesn't get a sweet hit at all. The Tigers might be close enough for a shot here. Another good run by Fainu. On the 30, 3 minutes of golden point time left. He's up inside the 30. It's a penalty! It's a penalty! One good kick and the Tigers have won the game. He's done it! What a win! One of their best ever. The Tigers 20 have beaten the Sharks 18.
And that ends our sports segment. And now for the weather forecast. This is a heavy rain and potential flood warning issued by Papua New Guinea National Weather Service for all regions of the country. That is Momase, Highlands, New Guinea Islands and Southern. Very heavy rains can cause flash and riverine flooding. Landslides are expected over prone areas for the next 24 hours. All the residents of the mentioned communities are advised to take necessary precautions during the warning period. And that ends another edition of TVWAN News. Do take care out there as the weather can be unpredictable. Take care and good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by